No need to debate.
Okay.
Told her bust it open. She said, okay. Was she wearing Chanel and Dolce?
That's your vibe right now?
I'm not sure.
All right. Well, we live.
We live, baby.
We live. Welcome to another episode of the No Need to Debate podcast. I go by Marc-Baze. That's MARC-BAZE. Can't forget the hyphen. And I'm here with the lovely, beautiful, so many words to describe this lady here who's sitting in front of me. I'm here with the beautiful Jaeda Thomas.
Hi.
How you doing today?
I'm good.
Are you?
You're making me nervous.
Don't come with the nervous energy. Don't do that.
It was the intro. You could have left that part out.
I made you blush?
Yeah.
All right, it's all good. Trying to make you comfortable, though. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Trying to get over this this little sick thing. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. But we are here. It's been a while, but we're back.
Indeed.
And I'm glad that you're doing this with me.
I think it's important to note that this is a special episode.
It is.
It's not one of those hour-long episodes. It's you know how people do a extra, a special.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like an extra or a special.
Thanks. Thanks for knowing that. But yes, this is a special episode. We're here to discuss your top 10. You provided a list, which you changed it now.
I did.
You provided a list that I thought was amazing. You had a bunch of great songs on there. And the people who I showed, they were surprised, like, word? That list is fire. Like, some heat on there. One of the episodes, we actually played your top 10 before we started the episode. And it actually picked up our energy. So I'd like to thank you for that. But I would love to see what you...
Changed it up?
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Before we start, you played Slippin' by DMX.
Yeah.
And it made me think a little bit about how top 10s are just rotating. Like, my top 10 is rotating. Like, I don't think it's ever going to be solid. Like, when I looked at it before this episode, I kind of just was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I think I need to switch everything up.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know, it's something, just listening to that song, it just makes you like, I feel like when you say your top 10 songs, it's just always going to be rotating, for me at least. I think there's too many, like, classics. And what I noticed about my first list is I had a lot of classic hip-hop songs, which I really loved. But I was like, I'm not really sure if this is the top 10 I would like to go with. Because I feel like I have songs that are a little bit more personal in, like, the sense of, like, when I started to get into hip-hop. So I think that's why I decided to change it.
And that's okay. It's not like you're going to get penalized. You're going to get a ticket for switching up your list. But, you know, even if it switches, I want to see what songs people swapped out. And, yeah, it's not going to be final. Sometimes a year from now, my list may change. It may not be the same 10 songs.
Ever.
So the criteria that we had, the number one criteria I would say is if you could only listen to 10 songs
Yes.
for the rest of your life,
Yes.
what songs would that be?
Yes.
But that's not the case because we have endless music. So before we get into talking about your list, I would like to ask you, what was your first introduction to hip hop?
My father.
Okay.
Sorry, that was just very my father. I think my first introduction to hip hop was just my dad just playing hip hop around me all the time. And he would play stuff like Run DMC and stuff. So when I know songs like that, people are like, why do you know this? But I remember just going and playing, like I would get, like we had a, when we used to have the portable radios, like the boom boxes.
You had a boom box?
Like what you put the CDs in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a boom box or like a portable radio?
Like a portable radio, not like a boom box that B-boys used to carry on their shoulder.
Spinning on cardboard at 2 years old?
Like the boom box type. What do you call those? A radio?
I guess you had a boom box.
I don't know what people call these things anymore, but you just put the CD in.
Yeah.
Type of situation, and it's portable.
Did it have a
radio.
CD and a cassette
player? Yeah,
okay.
Those things.
Got you.
So I remember just going and putting in like the Run DMC CD by myself. Like he wouldn't even be around because that's what he played all the time. So I would just put it in myself and just listen. Like I would just listen to it.
Yeah, I remember moments like that, like just putting a CD in. It didn't matter what CD. I just wanted to see how it worked, how the CD player worked. So I would like grab a CD and just put it in. It'll be a random CD.
I'm weak.
It could be a story, like a book on a CD.
What?
I just wanted to see how like one of those players work. And then I would try to take a DVD and see if a DVD would work in a CD player.
Something's wrong with you. I did it with the intention on listening to music.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what's wrong with you.
What's your first vivid memory of hip hop? I know you said your father playing.
I think I think it's that. I think just going and putting in music myself, like putting in those hip hop songs, or just like my dad to this day, he has like the biggest CD collection. People don't even buy CDs anymore, but the biggest CD collection. Just growing up and just going through the CDs, just looking at the covers and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be my most vivid.
So your taste in music is very broad. Like
yeah. I'd say
it's not just
broad,
one
diverse.
Thing. And
my friends used to call me a walking MP3 player because I would know so many songs.
I can vouch for that. And you put me onto a lot of music. So I appreciate that. Would you say you're more of a R&B person or more of a hip hop person? Or would you say...
I think it depends on the day, but I'm realizing that I'm way more like... I could listen to R&B and be chill all day and like be fine with that type of vibe.
Okay.
Or I'm just like, I think I'm just into good hip hop. There's no good hip hop, so I think I'm not a hip hop fan like I used to be.
There's
like
no
I
good
used
hip
to
hop now.
No, okay, that's a lie, but I'm saying it's too what's the word I'm looking for? Hip hop is just too much. It's too much to consume right now. It's like it's too many artists right now. It's too much music to consume. It's like the pool of music. It's like you have to choose what you want to listen to, and just it's too much work. At least with R&B, I know with classics, at least like with hip hop classics and with R&B, like I already know what I want to like listen to. I already know what I'm ready to turn on because it's like I know this, and I don't need to,
Yeah, I feel that. What do you?
I might have been rambling a little bit, but I was trying to get my point across.
I understood what you said. What do you think made you gravitate to hip hop?
My father.
Okay.
The sound. I realized listening to or just going through my top 10, like the first top 10 I made, that I like the boom boom baps. If that makes sense. Like I like the beats. Like I think I'm a beat person.
Okay.
Lyrics can get me too, but I'm more into like the beat, like the
how it slaps the rhythm.
Yeah, yeah. And there's like, if I go through my top 10, I'll see like a lot of similar type of beats where maybe like the drums are very similar or like they just hit different, you
I
know?
noticed that too. Like for me, my top 10 consisted of a lot of songs that were sample based, sample driven. A lot of high pitch.
I see that too.
Yeah. So, I just like that soulful aspect.
Not the sample thing though. Like I meant like,
No,
not to
I'm
cut
saying
you
for
off.
me.
Yeah, for you. I meant like I can see how that can be like a driving factor, because even in my music, because I like a lot of songs that are samples. And then I like a lot of oldies too, because that's what my parents play around me too, like the Earth, Wind and Fire, Isley Brothers, like
Right.
those are just examples simply because like the verses that just happened. But like you notice a lot of samples, and like when you listen to music and you're like, this was sampled, and you don't realize it. But I always am able to catch a sample because I'm so like, I feel like I'm so diverse. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm gloating, but that I'm not trying to gloat.
No,
I'm
no.
saying I'm so diverse in that sense. Like my parents play like DeBarge around me. I'll be able to catch a sample in the song today.
It was something that was pleasing about like that squeaky voice, like when Kanye sampled stuff, or Just Blaze, with like a lot of the Dipset beats. I didn't even know at that time that these things were sampled. It was just something about that voice in the background, over like the juxtaposition between a sweet sounding
Juxtaposition. I've
sounding.
never heard that word out loud.
Really?
No.
Well, I used it. Okay, word of the day. So the juxtaposition between that sweet sounding, high pitched voice, and then something so aggressive, talking about how gutter the streets are.
Right.
It was something that was amusing about that.
Right.
So, yeah, let's jump into your top 10. Song number 1.
I feel like it's important to also note that my top 10 is in no particular order.
Okay.
Simply because, like I said, my top 10 is just rotating. It's always going to be rotating, but this is how I'm feeling today, and this is what we're going to talk about today. And I think I'm confident in these choices.
Got you.
I think the first song, and we like warmed up, podcast warm up. That sounds so weird. We warmed up to this song, but we listened to, I had you play some Busta Rhymes, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See, and Mind Playing Tricks on Me. And I want to put those together. Actually, I don't want to put those together. I want to put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See and When the Last Time together, because those are songs that I vividly remember like my dad playing around me. And like listening today, I'm like, no, this song still slaps. Like, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See, the beat is crazy.
Right.
Like, we had to look up who did the beat, and I still don't know who it is, but the beat is fire. And it's not people that you typically see, like people like Busta Rhymes work together with. Not typically. I don't want to say that because I don't know who he typically works with, but like we might have thought it was Pharrell. Like, we weren't sure who did the beat at first, and it wasn't somebody like, you know,
who we know.
Yeah, it wasn't something who we're familiar with. That's the word. But yeah, I want to put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See with When the Last Time by Clips, because I'm like, I remember those songs, like hearing them in the car and just hearing songs like that, and the beat was just crazy.
Right.
Now Pharrell did When the Last Time, so I remember, and I know Pharrell works with Busta Rhymes, but those are just those beats. I love the beats.
Yeah, those two songs, I feel like they sit in my memory for when I was first able to memorize music.
Yeah.
Like when I would hear those songs, it's like, oh, I know this song. That's that song.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what they were saying or whatever.
Exactly.
But
And my parents always tell me stories about how, like, especially When the Last Time, how I made my own words to songs. And it definitely wasn't the words. Those songs came out, like the 90s?
Yeah.
Like the early 2000s. And I was only like, 6? And I was just 5, 6 making up words to songs. Right. Because I'm like...
You just going with the melody.
Yeah, you don't know what they're saying. You know what kids be doing.
Yeah. My nephew, I told you this before, but I believe his Music Soul Child, he has a song, It's So Funny. And my nephew, he changed the words to It's So Funny and choom, choom, choom. So
because you hear it and you don't know what they're saying, and
So you just complete it.
or you think you know what
Yeah.
they're saying, and you're like,
You're completing the vibe. You're
yeah.
completing
The
feeling.
melody, is that what it's called?
Depending,
Okay.
but yeah,
That was just me trying to put some music lingo out and not knowing what the hell I'm talking about.
you got it. What other songs are on your list?
So I want to go I'm gonna start with my older songs, I think, and another older song is "Mind Playing Tricks on Me" by the Ghetto Boys, and we started with that too. And also "Fuji La" by the Fugees.
Okay, now Mind Playing Tricks on Me.
I'm going two at a time, but
Why Mind Playing Tricks on Me?
because listening to it, I liked how real the lyrics were, but how simple the beat was. And the beat maybe isn't that simple as but it's not one of those complex beats they be making today with the boom boom bat bat cat cat. It's not all
You
that.
think the beats now are complex?
It's a little. There's way more layers to beats now than it was before. Like if you listen to Mind Playing Tricks on Me, the beat isn't that do 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 do. Dude, that's mad simple. It's not even. It's and then they're just spitting it's just real shit. It's it reminds me of again when you were playing DMX, how you just put your life on the whole song.
Right.
You put your life on the line was what I was gonna say, but you just put everything you're feeling on a song.
Right.
And I like that, and the song's great.
Do you think the reason why you can't really rock with hip hop now is because
It's too saturated.
that?
That's the word I was looking for. Once you said that, it's saturation is the first thing. It's just way too much to try and consume right now. Okay. But what were you trying to say?
I feel like you can't pick things apart. So with DMX or with the Ghetto Boys, their voice sounds different. They're from a different place. I believe they're from Texas.
Oh yeah, Houston.
So you get a feel for those individuals, and now you can't point out individuals. I feel like everything is so clouded. It's hard to separate.
I be listening to the radio. I'm like, who is this? Because it sounds just like somebody else that was playing two songs before. Everything is too. It's too saturated. That's the only word to describe it for me. It's too much to consume. And I watched a YouTube video about this a while back, and I sent it to a few people, just about how we have too many options, and that can be overwhelming to some people. And on Netflix, when on Netflix they're trying to recommend something to you, they give you a top 10 now. Netflix even gives you a top 10 now, and it's well, this is what's trending in the U.S. today. Check these out, and I actually go to those and I actually watch them because it's I'm not about to go through all these things that Netflix has,
So you're saying you think
it's overwhelming.
It's easier for people to be told what to listen to and what's hot.
And
that's why these songs are working? Because
and
I can't figure out why some of these songs work. If I see the same thing over and over and over.
What do you mean that's why these songs are working?
They're still doing numbers, and some of these artists are successful.
No, I wouldn't say that. That's not what I'm trying to get at. I'm just trying to say well, that's actually a good point. I see what you're saying, though. That wasn't what I was trying to say, but I see what you're saying by, people are getting told what to listen to. Oh, this is hot, so this is what we like.
Right.
How people just listen to the colorful hair rap. And all them people just sound the same to me. I'm sorry. And it's just why is this hot? That era came out of nowhere with all the people with the colorful hair, and I'm like, yo, what is this?
Did it? It came from Lil Wayne.
It might have came from Lil Wayne.
Yeah. It definitely came from Lil Wayne.
But I'm saying all of those they kind of grouped them together oh, look what this person, and they were kind of trolling. It seemed like troll rap. Yeah. And it was why are we gravitating towards this now? It's that was what's hot and that's what's going viral. So I see what you're saying in that aspect, but that's not what I was trying to say.
Okay. I feel like people can't differentiate what's to be taken serious and what is actually good.
Yes.
So
social media is brainwashing people.
That, and it's confusing people, because if you see a song that's doing numbers, and let's say it's a parody song, and somebody comments under there, right? Mm-hmm. But even a comment is a parody comment, it's a trolling comment.
Right.
Some people, because
Take
that person
seriously.
is not sitting in your face, some people can't determine whether or not people like this. Yeah. So they get confused. And if somebody is cheering it, you know what? I actually felt this. This person couldn't sing, but it came from the heart. Mm-hmm. And I felt this. you can't really tell whether or not that person is serious. And with the amount of comments and
Right.
the amount of times this thing is being shared,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
convincing
yeah,
people
yeah, yeah,
that, yo, this is actually good.
yeah.
It sucks, but
Yeah, and that's crazy because you just brought up a whole different like perspective of what I said, and that just shows how things can be just taken a whole different way. But I was just saying that like it's just too much to consume. Like it's like it's very saturated and there's always new music coming out. I remember before, and that's gonna lead me into like some of my next songs. I remember when something would come out and it would just be the talk because like this is what's hot right now. And you know, I know artists are always working and there's always music coming out, but it's just way so saturated right now. Like I remember with More About Nothing by Wale. The Problem is another song. That's like what my 5th song I'm naming right now. And I remember when like mixtapes would come out and it'd be like, yo, this is the mixtape we're listening to right now. And that came out in like what, 2009, 2010-ish from what I remember. I don't remember
they said
exactly.
10 years ago. So, yep, 2010, 11.
And like I remember and that's when I really started downloading and listening to hip hop by myself.
Yeah.
Like probably illegally, but mixtapes were always like on Dat Piff. Yes, right. Dat Piff. And I remember like going on Dat Piff and just being like, okay, I'm downloading this and this is what I'm listening to right now. Like More About Nothing was one of those things. I know Kid Cudi, Drake, like that's when those artists were coming up, like, and they were really like they were always, you know, like
they were in your
marinating,
face.
Like they were always like doing what they're doing, but like that's when they're like in my face now, and I'm like, okay, like I'm downloading More About Nothing, and then I'm downloading what was Drake's mixtape? Not Sooner Than Later. What am I talking
So
about?
Far Gone.
Yeah, So Far Gone. That's the whole song. So Far Gone. And I remember like just like even J. Cole like downloading those mixtapes and just like I mixtapes. Like I missed that. Why am I mixing up those mixtapes?
You miss mixtapes.
It's a tongue twister. But like I miss that whole era of music where it's like it's not so intense. Like it's not so like boom, this is out every day. I'm like, I can't keep downloading this music and I'm not going to keep listening to it. I'm way more busy now than I was in high school.
Right.
Like I'm not about to just sit here and I don't listen to music all day like I used to. Like
is music for the young?
I don't know. I think artistry can't be like denied. Like if you hear a good song or a really good song or a good album today, like you can't deny that that's a good song.
Right, I agree.
Like what came out in like what 2000 in the 2010s, late 2010s when Crew came out. Crew with Gold Link.
Yes, that was an amazing
Baez,
song. Amazing. One of the best songs I've ever heard.
Yes, and that made it to my 6th song on my top 10. You can't deny when a song is good. Like in this day and age, you can't deny that this is a great freaking song. Like, and that was an amazing song. Like it didn't make a Grammy, and I think
it should have.
And everybody anticipated that was winning. It didn't win, but it was a phenomenal song, like top to bottom.
Definitely.
You can't deny when a song is good today.
So Crew is on your list.
Crew is definitely on my list.
Okay, I rock with that because when I first heard that song, I was like, "What is this?"
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I love how like you just brought a bunch of people from the city together, or from the same area, DMV, like that whole Maryland, DC, Virginia area. You brought everybody together and you just made a phenomenal song.
Right.
Like I love.
You know how many people don't even know that was Brent on that song?
That's crazy.
Which it is crazy.
I think that was my introduction to him, or maybe a little bit before that.
Definitely mine.
I know. That was one of my earlier introductions to him, but I know I've listened to some music of his before, and I'm forgetting who introduced me, but I was going to Howard at the time, so like DC music was in my face, you know, like DC, Maryland, Virginia, like that whole. I was introduced to Rico Nasty when I was there, Brent, Gold Link, like all those people, Shy Glizzy, like those people, like I was introduced while I was going to school there because they're like DMV artists. So
I like that because another one of the bullet points in the criteria is that the song should serve as timestamps in your life. And you said you went to school in DC, you went to Howard, and this song ended up on your list.
Yeah.
And you're speaking about artists that you were put onto during your time there.
Good point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. But that definitely was, I was like, why is this not on my list? But every time I think about, like, when people say top 10, that's, like, always going to be on my list.
Crew.
Yeah, Crew.
Okay. I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it. What else you got?
What else do I have? What else do I have? Did we talk about Fuji La by the Fugees? Did I already?
We didn't talk about it, but you did say that it's on your list. Why that song?
I was listening to it on the radio when I was in the car with my dad. He's always playing like the old school hip hop radio, Rock the Bells radio on XM. So I was just listening, and I'm always getting put on the music, just listening to that radio station. And I just listened to that song, and I've heard the song before. Like, of course, I've listened to the Fugees. Like, everybody who grew up in a black household, I can't say everybody, that's generalizing, but like most people who grew up in a black household know the Fugees. So when I'm listening to the song, I'm like, yo, this is a freaking great song. Mm-hmm. And then I thought about how like Trey Songz sampled it. I don't know how he got away with that sample.
That's my shit. That's my shit.
No, it's a good song, but it's like it's crazy because it's like they approved this sample. And you know how people these days are stingy with approving samples. Like, they're like, I don't want these people on, like, and I thought that was cool how he was able to, like, make it a whole, like, new age type song. And it's a good song.
I'm not sure how true this is, but I feel like black people are more likely to approve samples than anybody else.
And, yeah, actually.
Especially when you're coming out of that era, because that's the Fugees. That's late 90s, early 2000s.
Y'all know spotty. It's spotty because I hear greedy situations too where they're not trying to do that in this day and age. But like even listening to the verses with the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind and Fire, it was crazy because the Isley Brothers, I think it was Ron Isley. He heard a song by Earth, Wind and Fire, and I'm forgetting what song it was exactly, but he talked about how like, yo, I heard this song and I was like, I need to make a song just like that. And it had the same feel and something. Yep. He was like, they're gonna sue me. Yep. And he was like, in Earth, Wind and Fire, like they're like, no, like we thought it was an honor, like the Isley Brothers, like right. And they don't do that anymore. Like, they want their money. Right. They are not about to play with y'all, trying to take, like, a melody, a beat, nothing. Like, it better not sound nothing like my song or they are going to sue you. And I feel like they don't do that anymore. Like, music isn't, it's just not what it used to be in that sense. Like, people are greedy. It's not, it's like, music is, like, money over artistry now. Like, right. Like, this is going to make me a buck. This is what we're going with.
That's why I respect what Hove did with the Annie sample when he did Hard Knock Life. And he sampled it. He made it to where artists can sample that sample like moving forward and it not really be a hassle. I don't know how he did it, but that's how Nipsey was able to use it for Hustle and Motivate.
To look into that.
But
I love that song.
Shit like that. Like we need more.
That's a great song.
You know, if we're gonna keep the culture moving forward, we gotta be on some FUBU shit for us by us.
Yeah, so and they're not trying to do that. Like even with Pharrell and Marvin Gaye, they were like, give me my money.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
They were not about to play with him, and I was like,
but it was the family.
And I couldn't hear it though. Yeah, it was the family. I feel like
you couldn't hear it.
I honestly couldn't.
Okay.
But I also didn't pay much attention to it. Like I was confused because I was like, what do you mean? But even like examples like the Cisco situation, I was not feeling that. The Thong Song situation when he
that was a little out of control though.
When he said live in the Vida Loca, and I was just like,
One line.
And you don't even, when you hear the Thong Song, you do not think about that line. And he was living in the Vida Loca.
I wouldn't say that you don't think about that line, but I feel like the Thong Song is so much more.
You think of
thong, right. But I feel like the Thong Song is so much more than just that line.
Exactly.
For them to see that much money that they saw off of it.
Yeah.
You know, so
I don't know. Yeah, so it's money over artistry now, and I'm not feeling it. I think that's goes into the saturation too. It's like people are like slapping us with so many freaking songs and EPs and mixtapes and albums. Albums got like 40 songs now. I'm not listening to that. Do you hear me? Like I'm not. Like I don't have the time of the day. I like other things now. I like enjoying TV. Like I'm not in high school where I just go on the bus and I just listen to my iPod. You know, like it's not high school anymore. Like I have things I'm doing with my life. I like listening to podcasts. I like watching new TV shows. You know, like. But I feel like I like music too, and that's another like it's super important in my life just to listen to music, to listen to podcasts, just to know what's going on in the world. But like music is just, it doesn't consume me like it used to. Like
because it used to be an experience, and now it seems like an activity. Like
activity, like let me put on this album. It's 40 songs. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. Why am I out of breath after listening to this album? Like
I feel you.
It's too much.
I feel you. What else you got on your list?
We talked about the last You Owe Me. You Owe Me by Nas. Did I talk about that already?
Nah, you didn't.
That's another song that my dad played around me 4,500 times. And like the album, I don't know what album that was off of, but he used to play.
I believe that's Stillmatic.
He used to play like, it's those things I used to just put on because it was like, I know this song, so I'm going to play this album. And I know it's on this album because I know what the cover looks like.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Is that him in the orange?
Yeah. It was like the orangey, like brownish color. Wait.
I believe that.
No, I'm wrong. Am I wrong? No. We got to look this up. We might be wrong. I might be wrong.
You owe me. Shorty, say what you like.
Oh, no. That's not the words. Yeah, don't do that no more. You might have to.
But I'm doing what you said you used to do when you were young.
Don't do that. No, that was him in the brown.
Is that It Was Written? No, that's not It Was Written.
This was. I don't want to play it out loud, so let me turn it down.
You owe me.
That was
Nostradamus.
Yes, Nostradamus.
Okay, got you.
And I know album covers because of the CD consumption that we used to have. Like people don't. It's all MP3, you know, download. But I know CD covers, and I feel like that is like a missing. Too, like people don't put as much love into that type of stuff.
And that's why I said it was an experience because. Like when you purchase the album, I'm not sure how many albums you purchased. I think I only purchased 2 albums in my lifetime, but at least I was able to experience that. When I purchased Dark Fantasy for the first time, and like me just being excited to come back home, open up that package, pop it in the CD, like that whole, that whole experience. It meant something.
Yeah,
and now it's like, boop, you could click it, and it's not as meaningful anymore. Yeah. It's like you clicking on it just like you clicking on a tab, or you're opening up a freaking app.
I miss that. And even like film cameras and vinyls. Like I like stuff like that. I like how people are trying to bring that back, and I like how like I don't know. It's just so important to have like physical copies, not just like in the cloud.
Yeah, maybe.
I like those memories. It takes up space, but it's beautiful.
I said this on a previous episode. The more we get away from the physical, like matter is anything that takes up space,
right?
Or, has mass,
right?
So the more we get away from the physical, the more things tend not to matter.
Right. Wow.
So
good point.
Yeah, I'm a genius. At
I
times.
like it. I like it a
lot. What else you got?
So then I started thinking about songs that like Drake has a lot of music that I love, and at first he wasn't on my original top 10, but I love Drake so much, like one of my favorite artists, and I'm like Drake and Kanye like coming up were definitely one of my favorite artists, and I was like I don't have either of them on my top 10. And I think it was because it was too much for me to choose from, because I was like I like this and I like this and I like this and I like this, so I was just like I'll just pick something that's more simple, you know, like more simple for me to just be like I like this, and I can, but I decided to add Successful by Drake and Trey Songz on my top 10, simply because who else is, I think Lil Wayne, is he on like the remix, or is he on the original?
Somebody's on the remix, but I don't think he's definitely not on the original.
Okay, but yeah, Successful had to make it because that was also when I like 2009, 2010, going into high school. I remember just downloading music, and like that was definitely one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
And it's a great song in general. Like they played it all the time on the radio, if I'm not mistaken. I don't listen to the radio like that anymore. XM, but not like,
Yeah.
99 really point whatever.
They really had to matter to you during that time, like going to high school. I remember I didn't have an iPod. I had an MP3 player. It was cheaper. But
I had both.
Like you had 1 gig of storage. So you had to, decide
what was important.
What was important to you. And then when another song came out, it was like, sorry, this one gotta go. And you gotta put this one on here. So that's why like doing the top 10 thing, it was difficult for me, but it was something that I enjoyed because like I had to kick songs off my playlist. That's funny,
because that's exactly why I put on Pandora sometimes. People are like, who uses Pandora? But I actually put on Pandora sometimes because it like sometimes Pandora actually introduces me to new songs, but like I like going on Pandora and they give me throwbacks that I forgot about that like I never downloaded because I forgot all about them. And then I'm like, I forgot about this song, and Pandora does that for me a lot. So shout out to Pandora.
Drake's successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, it was those type of artists, like my favorites.
Yeah.
Well, Drake wasn't tough for me because Tuscan Leather, I've been saying it since I've heard it. This is like one of the best songs I've ever heard, so that had to make my list. But like,
I feel you.
And Kanye, Can't Tell Me Nothing. But Hove, it was so hard for me to pick a Hove song, and
Yeah, you're a big Hove fan.
like Never Change was on my list, and people may not agree with that, but I just picked the Hove song that was like, you know, it represent who I am, and you know, I just remember listening to that a lot while traveling to high school.
Can't Tell Me Nothing. Actually, you just mentioned that, and that actually made it onto my top 10 too.
Can't Tell Me Nothing's in your top 10?
My second one I ended up making. Simply because I was like, yo, I have to pick one song. I'm like, what song is like a Kanye song that I just love? Like, I love. And there's so many, like, because I'm like, I like Kanye's earlier albums.
You was listening to crack music earlier. You was spitting crack music.
I was. But I like Kanye's earlier music a lot. But just listening to Can't Tell Me Nothing, like, that was like a little later down the line. And I'm like, nah, this song makes it. It always makes it.
It's so hard. It's so, because why does Can't Tell Me Nothing make your list? And I'll tell you why I made mine.
Simply, I don't know. It's just like one of the no-brainers for me. Like, it was just a no-brainer. It was just like, no, this is it.
Yeah.
It's just it. And I know, what album was that on? Was Can't Tell Me Nothing on Graduation? Yeah. Graduation was one of the albums that I actually picked up and listened to myself. Kanye was introduced to me by my parents. Like, they used to go to Kanye concerts. Like, when he was like first coming up in the 2004, 5, like, they used to go to Kanye concerts and they used to play Kanye around me. But Graduation was the first time that I listened to Kanye by myself, like, willingly, like, just picked up the CD and listened to it myself. So I think Can't Tell Me Nothing was. And
like, what'd you feel when you did that?
Graduation, I think my favorite song on there was Champion, and I would listen to Champion all the time. But Can't Tell Me Nothing was just like one of those songs where it's just, it's a perfect song.
There's so many songs on Graduation where it's like, damn, I love this song. But Can't Tell Me Nothing always end up on top. Like,
yeah, I was like, Champion was one of those songs. I was like, younger me loved Champion, but older me, I think Can't Tell Me Nothing has to be like one of my number one songs on this album. But were you saying, was your reasoning for Can't Tell Me Nothing being on your list?
Because like when Kanye was introduced to us, he was the outcast. Like, he was left field. Nothing he was doing was similar to anything that anybody was doing.
That was Shutter Shades
right?
Kanye.
So when he came with Can't Tell Me Nothing, he played the game. Like, it's damn near a trap beat. It's using the 808s, and he has Jeezy singing the ad-libs.
I was like, is it Jeezy on that? Yeah, so definitely trap.
It was like, oh, he's playing the game now. Like, he's on these type of beats that these gangster rappers would rap on now, and he's killing it. And also, like, my memory of the competition between him and 50.
Right.
And when he first
not
released
the album, but the Rolling Stone cover.
Right. That whole thing, like him performing at the BT Awards in them tight ass red pants, and even though Can't Tell Me Nothing was so hard, he had ballet dancers in the back to Can't Tell Me Nothing, and I just was like, yo, everything this man do is so different. I'm never going to see this from any other artist. He opened up the BT Awards that year with Can't Tell Me Nothing. He finished off with Good Life, but my memory of Can't Tell Me Nothing is so vivid that it would be hard for me not to throw that in there. And the song is called Can't Tell Me Nothing, so I can use that anytime I'm feeling down, anytime I need motivation. The way that bass hits, it's like...
bass. I think bass is what really gets me. Like, I love a song with bass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hit different.
So that's my reasoning for putting Can't Tell Me Nothing on my top 10.
I'm ending my list soon. I actually have one more song left.
What you got?
I'm staring at two, trying to pick one.
Pick one and then choose a
honorable mention.
Honorable mention, yeah.
So I think I'm gonna go with for my last song, I'm gonna go with 21 Questions with Nate Dogg and 50 Cent, simply because I just love that song so much. I think Nate Dogg, he just made the song 10 times better.
Yeah.
Like, just, he makes every song 10 times better. Like what
that melody, it's like,
nigga just be like singing on the yeah, and it's just, he makes the song 10 times better. But I don't know, I just hear that song, and every time I listen to it, I just like, I really listen to it, and I think it's the beat for me, like do 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 do. Yeah. Like, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, it's something about that beat. It's just, it just drags you into the song. Like it I don't know what it
connects
is.
with you. Like,
yeah.
When music is unexplainable, that's when it's the best. Yeah. Like when you can't explain the feeling, it's almost like love. When you can't explain why the music makes you feel like that, when you have to search for the words,
yeah,
that's the best music. And
sometimes
I can see 21
can't really
explain.
Yeah, sometimes I can't really explain why the song hits, but it, like, the song just hits. Like in 21 Questions, just hits.
I mean, you explained it. You said that. When I first heard that, I tell you it, and at that point, I didn't know what samples were. So when I'm hearing, I'm like, somebody is really trying to play this instrument. Like somebody is really doing the intro before you hear any drums or anything. It's like, wow, somebody really freaked the hell out of this.
We trying to play it.
Not trying to.
I get what you're saying.
But like somebody really.
That's a funny like take.
Like somebody try to get you.
Yeah, they were like cutting it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That's funny.
What's the honorable mention?
Honorable mention is I went with Still Tippin'.
Okay. Okay.
Because I was like, that's another song where the beat is just too hard to just not like. That was on my original list too, but the beat is just too hard to ignore. Like,
and I feel like that's ours. Like that's our music. Growing up at that time.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That's another one of those songs where it's like when you were able to download music on your own. When I had the MP3 player, Still Tippin' was definitely one of those songs that was downloaded.
Yeah, there. 10 out of 10 quality content.
And I think that was the first time I was introduced to the chopped and screw sound.
Houston is just yeah.
They have a way with making
their
music.
Style.
Yeah, their
style is different.
It's very unique. And right now, you can't tell whether somebody's from Cali, from New York, from ATL.
My God, it's so annoying.
You can't tell. Like, it'd be people from New York with a full-on accent. And I'm confused. So, I rock with your list. I rock with your first list. I rock with this list. How many songs did you change off of your list?
I think it was like 5.
Damn.
It's rotating, like I said. I feel like the bottom 5 are always going to be rotating. Maybe there's like a top 5 that's solid, and I don't know. I feel like my top 10 is just always going to be rotating for me. It depends on how I'm feeling, what I'm introduced to, and like there's songs that I'm not introduced to, like oldies, like maybe from the 80s, 90s, that I'm not introduced to, and I'm like, this could definitely be a top 10 song. Like, this is a great song. And you know, the crazy thing about me is I can hear a song, like I told you, I listen to Rock the Bells radio with my dad on XM whenever we're driving somewhere, and I feel like I'm introduced to songs all the time, like new songs from like the 80s, 90s, and I'm like, this is a great song, and I will play that song like it came out yesterday. And I feel like the artistry is just different because I feel like they just, I don't know, they cared about what they were putting out.
More. They definitely cared more. No, a lot a bit more.
And I don't want to say that because I feel like I'm dismissing people that make music today sometimes, but I'm just
But we always generalize. That's what we do.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm not trying to generalize, but generally, I don't be liking the music coming out today.
For the people who actually care about the art, I'm pretty sure they know. And people would like their credit, but it's the truth. People cared more back then. Now people want to people want to make money, and that's it. Mm-hmm. At that time, you had to be good to a certain extent. You had to be good to make it.
Right.
You don't have to be good in order to make it.
Yeah, like if you weren't good, you had to go to like 50 different labels trying to get put on, like,
and then they manufacture some shit for you.
Somebody accepted me. But today it's like anybody could get on because it's like it's easier. It's just way easier. Yeah. And I like that. I like that for new artists, but I also hate it because it's like this shit is trash.
Right.
Like,
and I see a lot of older people saying, "Oh, it's easier for artists," and maybe the accessibility to to like get your stuff out there is easier, but to be seen and to be noticed, it's hard. Like we sat there on Wayno's Live,
Right.
and looking at a bunch of artists submit their music.
Yeah.
And it's so hard because one, everybody sounds the same. Two, it's just not good. And three, like with so many people doing music and trying to be seen and heard, it's not easier.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's oversaturated.
Yeah.
Way more competition. You got
It's seemingly easier.
if somebody from over in Asia make a song that catches on, whether it goes viral or whatever, they out of here.
Out of here.
So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I really do enjoy your list.
Thank you.
I enjoyed this episode.
I feel like me too. I feel like for lastly, I feel like music is gonna get to a point, like I do fashion, like that's my thing, and I like all forms of art. And I feel like with that, with all forms of art, it's just people are gonna start getting weeded out. Like I feel like people are starting to really I don't maybe music a little, it's gonna happen a little slower, but I feel like with fashion, with like things like it's not like a money grab. Like stop looking at things as a money grab. And I feel like people are soon going to start weeding these type of situations and in projects out where it's like, what is this? Like,
well, one, it costs money to do this. So unless you're drug dealing or you have some type of endless income, you're going to realize that maybe I don't care about this as much to spend this much money on it. So maybe that's how it fizzle out. But definitely in fashion, I feel like it's like, just like in music, it is oversaturated. You see a bunch of people.
Art in general is oversaturated.
True.
It used to be something that everybody didn't do simply because it was one of those things where it's like, art? Like even going to school, being an artist, why are you going to school to be an artist? Like people going to school for what, business and science and people are like, what is this? What are you doing? Like I even going to school, people always looked at me like, what the... Oh, you're going to draw today? Like you're going to go play in your coloring book today? Like people never took that serious, but now
it's because you cared. You wanted to learn more.
And it's not even. It's like people you clown me now, but now everybody's trying to do it. Like everybody's trying to do the same thing, and now it's crazy because now colleges are putting music schools like in business schools together.
Yeah.
Like I think Howard's doing that now too, where they're putting like a business school in the music. Like they're trying to put two in one.
Wow.
Yeah. Like a lot of people are trying to do that now, where they're trying to make it more. I don't know. I don't know what the hell people are doing. Anyway, great episode.
It was. I really enjoyed this. Before we get out of here, you dropped the new collection.
I'm logging out.
You don't want to talk about yourself?
Not really, but yeah, my name is Jaeda. I'm a fashion designer. And you can follow me at JaedaThomas on Instagram, and my business Instagram or my clothing brand is Shop Jae Lenee.
Yeah. Amazing work, amazing clothes.
Luxury, sustainable clothing. I care about the earth, and I care about paying people living wages and ethics and morality and all that. So tap in.
I'm with that. Tap in. All right. So that was a special episode of the No Need to Debate podcast, and we are out of here. Peace out.
Bye.
No need to debate.